Hi, my name is Alvin Kwa and today we'll be making crab gyoza. So let's get started. We've got some lovely ingredients here. We're going to start off with some Asian cabbage. So Asian cabbage, sometimes called wombok. You can actually buy them in a lot of specialty Asian grocery stores and sometimes in Coles and Woolies as well. Now with this, what we need is about 1 cup worth, and we're going to finely shred it, which I've done here. And then I've blanched it for about 30 seconds to a minute. And what you want is this lovely sort of soft consistency. The reason why we're blanching it is because we're going to mix all the ingredients together and you want the cabbage to be fairly tenderized. We've also got some shiitake mushrooms. Now I've got some lovely fresh shiitakes here. Shiitakes, they come in fresh or dehydrated form. So the dehydrated form of shiitakes, you probably need to soak them for 20 minutes in water to soften them before you chop them up. And we want to get fairly sort of, fine sort of consistency, but I like it sort of a little bit chunky, if you like, because it gives it that lovely sort of texture. I love sort of mushrooms. Now, if you don't like shiitake mushrooms, there are other mushrooms you can use. You can use enoki, you can use king oyster mushrooms. They're really a good addition. Now, the main ingredient, of course, is a crab. Now, you've got some pre-prepared crab meat, which you can get from a lot of your grocery superstores now. You don't have to sort of prepare the crab yourself. If you want to, even better. But a lot of the store-bought crab meat, they're usually pretty good quality. So we've got about 250 grams here. And we've also got some lovely spring onions. So spring onions, we use the white part of the spring onion. You can use the green portion of the spring onion for garnish, or sometimes you can actually use it to flavor a lot of your stock and soups as well. So we finely sort of slice them and they're going to be added to. We've got some minced ginger over here. We've also got some soy sauce and some sesame oil. So let's just mix all that together to make the filling. We've got the crab. Got the mushrooms. The cabbage. You can modify this recipe if you like. You don't have to use Asian cabbage if you don't want to. You can just use normal lettuce if you like. Savoy cabbages, that's fine, but always remember to sort of blanch them first. We've got some ginger. Now ginger is great because it gives it a lovely sort of bite. And if you are allergic to seafood, if you don't like crab, you can use other forms of protein. You can use pork, you can use chicken, you can use duck. And if you're a vegetarian, you can actually add more variety of mushrooms. You can add tofu as well. Some water chestnuts, that's always great for crunch. We'll mix that together. I love the smell of ginger, you can really smell it here. We've got the spring onions that we'll add. Now we'll add the sauces, so the sesame oil. It's a very aromatic oil. The soy sauce, just for a little bit of taste and saltiness. And that is the filling done. So now we've got some wrappers ready. So these are Gyoza wrappers. You can actually get Gyoza wrappers, you can get Gyoza wrappers, you can get wonton wrappers. It's actually not a lot of difference between them. Wonton wrappers has an egg element to it, which is why it's sort of yellow. This is just made of flour and water. If you want to do it yourself, the wrappers, you can, it's absolutely easy. So what we've got is we've got the wrappers ready. We've got a bowl of water and I'll show you what we need to do. So you get one of the wrappers, get about a teaspoon of the filling and place it in the middle. And it's always important not to overfill your gyozas because they tend to sort of split and you don't want that. So just dip your index finger in a bit of water and then just run it along one side of the circle and just pinch it gently to seal the gyoza. Now, That's fine. It's absolutely fine. But if you want to sort of create a bit of a pattern, you can give it a bit of a pinch and a curl. It's a little bit pretty. So the gyozas have been filled and now we're ready to pan fry them. So we've got some rice bran oil here. Now you can use any oil you like. I like rice bran oil because it's neutrally flavored. You can use peanut oil, you can use vegetable oil. I very rarely use olive oil for Asian cooking because I find they clash with a lot of the Asian flavors. But if you want to use olive oil, that's absolutely fine too. Put some oil in for frying. It's about a tablespoon. Swish that around. Make sure it's nice and warmed up before we put the gyozas in. So now we're ready and we're just going to place the gyozas in there and we're not going to flip them over. So what we're going to do is to get them really nice and browned and then we're going to tip some water in there and then just cover it. So make sure it steams it and cooks the remaining gyoza. Now I love this. Sometimes it's actually referred to as the two-faced sort of dumpling as well because it's sort of nice and crispy on the bottom and then lovely and puckered and soft on the top. And that's because of the steaming process. So all we need is about half a cup of water. We want to make sure that what's there is really brown at the bottom before we add that through. And then we're going to cover that and make sure the water is completely absorbed and then your gyozas are ready. So that's nice and brown at the bottom, you can see it, or smell it at least. So we're going to add the water in, it's going to sizzle a bit. We're going to cover that. Let the rest of the steaming process cook the gyoza. And then we're ready to eat it.